Hello, all. Welcome to Only Stupid Answers. My name is Sam Basher.
I'm DJ Wooldridge.
And let's review Lego Movie 2, the second part, shall we?
Oh, that's a different toy movie.
That's a different one. Let's do a quickie review, not a quickie, but spoiler-free review of Lego Movie 2, the second part. We were able to see it this week. Actually, a lot of people all over the nation were able to see it basically the same time reviewers did because they did some early screenings at 500 theaters around the United States, which is really cool. So if you guys saw it, sound off in the chat because we want to hear what you guys
so many fun experiences with the people that were trying to amp up the crowd, interacting with the kids and everything. It was funny.
They had tried to get some kids to dance for a promo for it to get free Lego.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to stand up taller than all the kids.
Yeah, they also did a quiz, like a little contest about answering questions, or trivia. And they were handing out Legos for the winners, and I was like, I want a Lego. And for a second, I was like, maybe I could compete. And then they asked the questions, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I was in the bathroom. I could have helped you out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay. Because we had some parents in the back. When a kid could answer a question, you had some parents in the back. And I'm like, that's not nice. They should get Legos anyway.
I mean, if they're going to do that, they got to give everybody Legos.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't have been upset about that. They were full sets, too. They weren't like little bags.
And this wasn't a free screening. We paid for that, so...
kind of getting your money's worth a little bit. Oh, and also I'll say you're gonna get your money's worth when you see this movie. Here's your quick info before we get into our overall thoughts of this film. It's directed by Mike Mitchell, and written by previous directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller, with a story credit to Matthew Fogel, as well as they got story credits as well. But our cast is Chris Pratt returning, Elizabeth Banks, Tiffany Haddish, Stephanie Beatriz, Will Arnett, Alison Brie, Nick Offerman, Charlie Day, Will Ferrell, Maya Rudolph, plus 90 other A-list actors.
Yes,
because they get everybody's for these movies.
Everybody is in that movie.
And it's hitting theaters February 7th, 2019 for a wide release, but your quickie synopsis is, it's been 5 years since everything was awesome and the citizens are facing a huge new threat. Lego DUPLO invaders from outer space, wrecking everything faster than they can rebuild.
Hold on, real quick. Here's a testament to the quality of these Lego movies, because in this synopsis, and where it says Lego DUPLO, there's a big R next to it. And when I remember seeing the movie, when the Lego logo comes up, there's like reserved, and this is a product. These are toy commercials, but they're great. They're hilarious. They're so much fun.
They're so good.
But they also make you want the toys. Yes, I looked up to see if remember what is it? The cat one. Unikitty.
Unikitty.
You know, Unikitty transforms into like a bigger version.
Like a Hellcat.
Yes, I looked up to see if that was a toy. It is. Do I want it? You know I do.
I want the banana.
I didn't see it, but it's only a matter of time before that becomes something.
I'm going to need that quick. But
yeah, Unikitty is awesome in this movie.
Before we get to our overall reviews, just wanted to give a shout out to the Rotten Tomatoes score that it has currently with not that many reviewers.
Yeah.
But right now it's from top critics sitting at 86%, which is pretty good. But the average kind of score that they've all given is 6.7 out of 10, which I find to be a little low, but only a little bit. I think this movie, though, getting into overall thoughts, we're going to break it down in just a second to our 3 positives and a negative like we normally do. Trying to keep it positive.
Yes.
But this movie is a delight. It's very difficult. Like I've seen a sequel to Phil Lord and Chris Miller's movies like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, which I don't think they really had much to do with. It kind of seemed like they were trying to make as many toys out of the fruit hybrids as possible.
Yeah.
So that one was a little iffy. 22 Jump Street I like, but I don't find it to be as good as 21 Jump Street.
That is true.
But when it comes to this movie, I think this is their strongest sequel that they've done, because they really knock it out of the park with their first movies. And when it comes to a follow-up, it's really tough. They really put their all into it, and I think this is like their first sequel that I feel is on par with their first movie. I think
that seems fair.
The cast coming back's amazing. Their humor is they're so just tight.
Yeah.
They structure these films so that you will have to come back so you can catch all the little jokes that are flying around, but the ones you do catch are great. You still get these moments that are really tender and sincere between characters that you somehow end up caring about. Like Emmett is the plainest Lego. That's what the point is. But you really care about what he's going through, and all of his friends that are all unique, and everybody that they introduce in these films, all the new characters you end up attaching to immediately, and you understand like what they are and what they mean to each other. It's incredible what they're able to do with these movies, and I can't believe they did such a good job with this sequel.
I think the big standout for new characters has to be Queen Whatever I Want to Be. She's hilarious, and she gets some of the best songs. She gets the 2 best songs. Yeah.
Gotham City Guys. That was a good one.
Yeah. She negs Batman.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
I'm sorry. That's
It's a spoiler free, but the album did come out. It's an amazing album.
It's great. It's great. Yeah. So this is, if you enjoyed the first one, I don't think there will be anything for you to be disappointed by in this one. It's just as funny and adventurous and still has a lot of the same spirit thematically. It's basically the same as the first movie. It's like, hey, you can play with other people too. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what these movies are about, is family members learning to play with each other. So just get on with it already and hang out with your kids/siblings and learn to play.
I think the way they go about it too is so convoluted but so wonderful at the same time that you'll have a lot of fun thinking you know where this movie's going, and it gets there the way you think, but it's so complicated, but on purpose. It's meant to be confusing because the characters are confused.
So let's get into the meat of it. What were some of your favorite aspects of this movie?
I'd say up top is just the comedy. Phil Lord and Chris Miller have a very special brand of comedy that it just resonates with a lot of audiences. Like they've got kid humor down where they can make a poop joke, or they make a fart joke, or they can make like a silly kind of
you know, it's worth pointing out, you made a poop joke and a fart joke as a reference to the type of humor you're referring to. However, I don't think there are any poop jokes or fart jokes, and I thank them for that.
Yeah, no, I don't think there is either, but it feels like that you can get that, like the kind of people that would
cheap
enjoy
laughs.
this.
I remember when I was growing up, like something like a Shrek movie would come out and be like, ooh, it has comedy for the adults, which meant thinly veiled sex jokes, or just really low-hanging fruit, sometimes literally. And for this, I think what they do a really good job of is when they skew jokes for older audiences, it's not scatological or blue humor. It's usually a little bit more smart or a little more specific to like the generation you grew up in, and it still works for kids. I do wonder, as funny as this movie is, and with a lot of like movies that are this whip smart or whatever, I wonder how it'll age, because some of the jokes are so specific to the right now that it's like 20 years from now, will that joke be funny to people who don't joke about what Harry Potter house you're in? You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
Because
that was one of my favorite jokes, and it's like, but 20 years from now, will that work for people?
There is one dark joke that I felt like I was the only one that caught, and I was like, I guess there's enough distance between this. We'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
And we're gonna probably do like a podcast episode on it. I'm gonna mention it up top right when we get into spoilers, because it's one of my favorite jokes, but it's so dark. Props to them for pulling it off, though.
Also, another joke I really liked was very specifically poking fun at a certain type of Chris Pratt character. The character is in the trailers, Rex Dangervest, but it is very much like, it's like Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec versus Chris Pratt's movie persona.
It's same. Yeah. In the trailers, they talk about like he's an archaeologist, raptor trainer, like all this. It's like it's everything every cool kid wants to be.
There's another good specific joke with that too that I won't get into because again, no spoilers. But yeah,
he's got a lot of amazing jokes, and I like seeing those two characters playing off of each other.
Yeah,
both played by Chris Pratt, which is amazing. Chris Pratt, I think, gets the most screen time based on all the characters he has. But also another positive is the action. I think that when they get into like big set pieces, I don't know how they're able to choreograph this so clearly, because they're still moving like Legos do, but you're still able to follow everything. And also when it comes to the action, I think that the way that they're able to do scale with this, like there's some scenes in the first movie, this is a good reference, is when they wanted a wide shot, you saw them dropping a ship into like an ocean, and you hear someone going like you would make when you're in the bath. You get a couple of those with spaceships in this, where they're being like dragged along with like twine, and you're like, I love these set pieces.
Yeah.
It makes it feel like you're watching a stage show as well.
There's so much fun, and I think they're really creative with the animation too. I did want to say, favorite joke in the movie, and it does play into the action too, has to be anytime a DUPLO character shows up, or one of the younger, like the toys are voiced for their age demographic. So it's like super cute, even though they're destroying everything. It's like if Godzilla talked like a toddler.
It's so funny.
It's never not hilarious, and that might be. I'll get into the critiques. That might be one of my critiques. Is just that I don't think any scene in the movie is as funny as that opening sequence. That opening sequence is so great that even though everything else is really good, it's like that. But that opening was so good. For me, something I think is worth really praising is the cast you have here. Not only do you have a lot of ringers, a lot of really talented comic actors, like you've listed off a bunch of them, but they're all at the top of their game. They're all clearly having a blast. Even a lot of like the like the quick reference characters like the Justice League being played by Channing Tatum and stuff like that. They get references there. I think it's Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
Yeah.
Comes in, and there's a couple solid Aquaman jokes in there that I thought were really good. But I don't think this movie would work quite as well if you didn't have the cast having as much fun as they're having in it.
That's a testament to Phil Lord and Chris Miller as well. I feel like they're able to like kind of strike this good like rapport with their actors where they give them, because it's like we've talked about when it comes to the comedy, it's just a little bit smarter. It's like it's not blue. It's like you can kind of have fun. Like if you're in on the joke, which basically everybody is if you understand any pop culture references, so you're good to go. And the cast is incredible. It's fun to see Chris Pratt in all of his action movies and whatnot, but seeing him in this, it's like this is the intersection of everything that I like about Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy. But I think we've got our three positives: the comedy, the action, the cast. But going to the negative, I'd say in comparison, because it's a sequel, it's fair to look at the one that came before, since this is a continuation of that story.
Good Lego Batman joke in this one, referencing that movie. Yeah,
which I love that.
Yeah.
It's right up top too, which is great. This one, the Lego Movie 2, feels slightly more hollow in terms of just story. The story in the first movie is very clear. It's about basically it's a nurturing children's creativity and allowing them to be able to explore different things in life and share and grow and change, and like that's an awesome lesson that you get to have in this awesome really long commercial. And then in this movie, because if I get into it's basically the same lesson but told in a different way, which is still fun. But since you're kind of going over that same path again, it doesn't feel as fresh. But that being said, there's so much good around the cast and the comedy and the action that seeing everything and experiencing it makes it special. Yeah,
it is. It's not a spoiler to say, like in the trailers they talk about, it's these characters dealing with the Sistar system. It plays off the tease at the end of the last movie with the main character's sister. And so, it's we kind of know where this is all headed, but it is so enjoyable. I will say, I think with most movies in general, getting a little long. Getting a little long, and I'm getting a little burnt out on the specific habit of this steals from a lot of big superhero movies and action movies where it's like there's the climax, but then also here's a climax. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you've already burnt me out. My endorphins are already at their peak, and now we're going downhill. You can't throw another major action sequence at me right now. But still, it might be one of my favorite movies I've seen this year.
Really? Yeah. 2019, there's a lot of, there's
2019's
a good amount of movies that have come out.
Yeah, there's the two big ones, you know what I mean? And this is up there as one of the top two ones I've seen. No, I really enjoyed this movie. It's so much fun. God bless Phil Lord and Chris Miller and all the people working so hard to make family movies that aren't a nightmare. Because when you go see these movies, they play the trailers for other family-friendly movies, and it makes you want to set yourself on fire. And so thank God for movies like this, because it's like because we went to an early screening and there was a bunch of kids, and it's like, hell yeah, I'd love to take my kid to see this. It's so much fun, and they're getting good.
I can't wait for more movies like this when I can take my kids to go
and they're getting good lessons out of it, and it's not preachy, but it's still like, hey, be a positive, good person. Yes.
And most of all, best thing of all, the takeaway is that now you won't feel weird building Legos with your kids.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, don't you want the Unikitty toy? And the kid will be like, but what about the Sistar spaceship? I'm like, that's cool too. Yeah. But let's get the Unikitty toy first.
Convince mom to get both.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I can work on that one and you build the spaceship.
Yeah, but they're both for you. But I'll help. I'll help out with that.
For your birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Hey, this is your birthday and Chris's present. Wink. No, and we usually like to rate. Actually, we always rate our reviews, and I'd say out of 5 years since the last movie,
which is crazy to think about.
Let's go out of 5. In the movie, it's been 5 years. Woo. So, what would you give it out of 5?
4.
Crazy number.
4.
Even 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
I'd give it 4 out of 5 as well.
Is that like a B?
That's a B
plus.
Let's give it a B. Not bad. Yeah. If
I'm thinking a B plus.
B plus.
If we were to give it a letter grade, I'd give it a B plus.
I'd give it a B plus too.
I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I liked the creativity and even if like the story's kind of a rehash of the original, all the creativity that goes into these movies. Talking about Spider-Verse 2, just doing different things with animation. Yes, please and thank you.
Also, I don't know how, this kind of going back to the comedy, just really quick, one little joke that's it's a non-joke. It's just how they frame the scene.
Yeah.
And then with the trailer, you see Lucy using binoculars to get bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah, I actually think we have an asset of that
there
we
is,
showed earlier.
But if you're watching Emmett next to her, he doesn't move his legs because they're in the ground, but he just leans back further and further, and he's smiling the whole time as it's taking up more and more of the real estate in the shot. It's so funny that all he does is leans out of the way, and in the scene he's giggling because he's like, I love being around my girlfriend or whatever. It's adorable. He's so endearing, and so is this movie. So you're gonna have a blast. If you had a quote on the box, if Lego called you up right now and they're like, hey, we need a quote, what are you gonna put on there?
I'd be like, yes, you can buy the Unikitty Lego set. I would have an insert with all the sets in there. The big Statue of Liberty number, you can get that.
Really?
Which, by the way, might be a spoiler. I'm not going to talk about
Good call.
it. Yeah.
I'd say my favorite sequel to a commercial ever.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, those are our thoughts on Lego Movie 2. The second part, what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below. What Lego sets are you going to get from this movie? I've got a list. All right. Please like, please subscribe, please hit that bell notification. Please go to onlystupidanswers.com. Please sign up for patreon.com/onlystupidanswers, where you can get a ton of other bonus amazing content that helps keeps the lights on.
It's over there. Or it's over here.
Yeah.
Or it's over
Or
there.
it's over there.
Or it's over
It's over here. Also, tune in live Wednesdays at 3:30 p.m. on twitch.tv/playnoggin, and Thursdays for Super TV Showdown, also on twitch.tv/playnoggin. Sam.
Love you, bye, drink water.